what's going on? I am doing a little video on the progress I have made on my 1990 Honda CRX. So I bought this car from a family member a while back for like 800 bucks, and it ran and drove and had, I would say, some more issues than it currently has with it. I'm just going to run over what I've done. So I've done quite a bit of body work. Passenger rear quarter, passenger door. This was all bent in and rusted. Someone had broken into the car previously. There was, on each side of the car, some rust on the rocker panels. I pulled that side skirt off and got that taken care of, cut the rust out, painted over it with some Rust-Oleum, like 5 layers of that stuff, so we should be good there. And of course my side skirt is held on by zip ties. Honda life. So this fender was also completely screwed. Somebody tried to roll the fender incorrectly, and it wrinkled it all the way through the fender. It looked terrible, so I picked up this fender and found some paint at Menards that was pretty close to the OEM paint or whatever paint jobs on this car, and it turned out okay, better than what it was, so that's not too bad. I also did some body work over here on the driver's side on that fender right there. You can see some of the Bondo there. I'm not perfect. I don't do perfect body work, so that's all right. Also did the same thing with the rocker panels, or the rocker panel over here. Pulled that side skirt off and then cut out all that rust and, you know, painted over it. Got it a little bit of future proofing there. I did some Bondo right here. Looks okay, I guess. I mean, if you saw that Bondo job or that rust spot and the one over there on the other side of the car before the Bondo, you'd probably cringe quite a bit. It was pretty gross. The car had some League racing wheels on it. I liked them. They were really cool. They're basically the same thing as these, but more spokes. But the problem was that I think 3 out of the 4 tires had bends in the lips, like pretty significant bends. So I decided to pick up these Rota slips. So we've got these Rota slips here on the CRX. I think they look pretty alright. It's pretty good stance for an $800 car, in my opinion. So it's on coilovers, and this is as high as I can get the coilovers to go. I mean, that's how the car sits with the coilovers maxed out in height. So we covered the body work, the wheels. Let's move on to the engine bay, I guess. So this car really can't just have an exhaust. It's basically impossible because of how low it is. I've tried it. I got a stock exhaust replacement exhaust off eBay. It didn't really work because it hangs way too low and the car's too low, so it just scrapes and it's not fun. What I've done in the engine bay so far is I got a new battery. I got a, what is that, battery support down there. It's white from my hatch. I plan on painting it the same color as that fender. I did brand new motor mounts. They're innovative polyurethane motor mounts. You can see the passenger one there, the driver one there, and then that rear one back there. And I'm pretty happy that I didn't have to drop that, what is it, that rear chassis support, or whatever you want to call it, right down there. It goes all the way across. I guess it's a subframe or a cross member. I don't know what it is, but I'm glad I didn't have to pull that off. So that's that. This bracket right here, right there, connects from the passenger. So what is it? This here, if I can get an angle on it, which I can't. So the driver's side motor mount, engine mount, bolts this plate down here, if you can see it. And that plate was so rusted, these holes the bolts go through, that one and that one, They were so rusted that I'm surprised the transmission side was even hanging on to the mount. I mean, it was bad. And it took me probably 2 weeks to find that replacement right there, that plate. But when I found it, I bought it immediately. Right now it's just headers and the downpipe right there. You can see it will, that for the headers and then that second exhaust piece. That's all I can get to fit on there without it scraping. I cleaned up the front of the engine and transmission, try to degrease it as much as possible. So yeah, I mean, once you get all the grease and oil off of it, it was pretty clean. What else? I haven't really done much else in the engine bay other than that. I kind of cleaned up the HID wiring. I don't really, not a huge fan of how much of them. There's a big mess that comes along with all the extra wiring in the engine bay with HIDs. It's kind of annoying, but they are kind of cool. So yeah, that's the engine bay. What I've done with the inside of the car, this racing seat came with it. I don't know what brand it is, but as you can see, it's kind of lost its support and padding back here. So it's kind of uncomfortable. I plan on getting a new one or just putting up some more padding back here. I also pulled out some OG Civic floor mats from my red Civic Coupe. I also got an NRG quick release steering wheel. Not cheap, about 500 bucks for the whole setup, which is almost as much as I paid for the car. But the reason why I did that, I'll show you. So, as you can see, screwdriver, right? You can also see no ignition, right? So that's how you have to start the car. You got to put that in there. You got to hold this white piece, turn that, and that gets the car on. I figured it'd be a lot more money to fix this, a lot more funds to fix that than it would be just to buy the quick release, and the quick release is way cooler. And I was gonna buy it anyways, so screw it. The dash is pretty all right. There's one crack, yeah, right there, if you can see it. I don't even know if you can see that. You can't even see it, it's so small. Dash is pretty all right. There's only one crack in it, and that's all right with me. It's pretty dirty, but it's all right. I also pulled all the AC stuff out because it doesn't have AC. I mean, I left this because I need to crank the heater on. I want to put some gauges here eventually, maybe a push to start to replace that. I gotta knock off Mugen shift knob. If you can see the right there, the eBay Mugen shift knob. Interior is pretty gutted, I would say. I took the passenger seat out because I'm planning on doing a little bit of, I don't know, nobody wants to ride in this car because it's rattly and rickety and slightly terrifying and loud and gross and all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to come up here to the passenger side so I can show you more of the interior. So here we go. So that's the interior. Not bad. I mean, it's pretty gutted from like the back half of the car and on. The front half of the car is all right. I plan on doing like some black carpet all the way back so it kind of covers up all the sound deadening and stuff. I pulled sound deadening out of car. I don't want to do it again, so I'm not going to mess with it. Underneath this carpet is not bad. Someone put some more sound deadening material in. I don't know why. That's what they did though. So yeah, that's the interior of the car right there. Not bad. I like it. I think this car will make a cool little entry level autocross car or something whenever I get it to be in, you know, not open headers and get my bumper back on, get it to where the idle is, you know, the idle's not bad at all, but I want it to be perfect. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and try to get a couple pulls and show you the car in action. Alright guys, I'm gonna grab my CRX and do a couple pulls right over here in the road. Probably do one from here down there and then back or something like that.